The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and participants, and do not necessarily reflect the official policies or positions of City World Media LLC or its affiliates. All shows are produced with full participant consent. City World Media does not claim ownership of any third-party music featured and uses all tracks only with proper permissions or licenses granted by their respective rights holders. City World Media operates in accordance with fair use and digital broadcast guidelines on all platforms. From my city to your world, we are City World. Thank you for watching.
I got a deeper soul, used the ways of the force. The pain from the loss made me a boss and helped me to grow. Burn the fire, used to hurt as fertilizer. The kid of rock, I used to struggle like a slingshot. Let's have a talk, I had a thought, it's every rapper's fault. When niggas try to hold me back, I used it like a catapult. Craziest thing, God made me a king. Cause every time he tried to play me, motivates me to win. Could be ego, I don't know, maybe it's pride. But if I had diarrhea, I still wouldn't let shit slide. Safe, a home plate, this is no fake. I'll take myself out to dinner and be my own date. I've been through life, this dude nice. Now I'ma fucking make a point like a Gitsu knife. Finding your neck, I had time to reflect. I came back cause I decided I would like my respect. Cymarshall Law.
Only get the credit where the credit is due. Where the credit is due. If you didn't know, you better ask somebody. Only get the credit where the credit is due. You better ask somebody.
The game knew my heart a threat, cause I left out. Then I stepped out of the matrix and became its architect. It's the black Ghostbuster and I ain't done. I'ma send all these demons back to where they came from. From day one they see me failing for the triumph, but they can save it cause they ain't learned nothing from David and Goliath. You better not, I ain't said much, but I said a lot. I'm the battery, the last of forever, I'ma never stop. Comparing me to use like a Navy SEAL to a rent-a-cop. My body was carved from a comet, but you never rock. They saw the aura, it was beautiful like Bora Bora. I'll kick a verse longer than ice deep in a law and order. I came from a place where most of us can make it out, but I'll never give up my soul just for chasing clout. I'm on a track and I'm making your GPS change the route. Foot on the contract, standing on business, I don't play about.
Only get the credit where the credit is due. Where the credit is due. If you didn't know, you better ask somebody. Only get the credit where the credit is due. If you didn't know, you better ask somebody.
With that being said,
it's only right that I was born to use mics. It's only right that I was born to use mics. Born to use mics. Born to use mics. Born to use mics. Born to use mics.
What's good? What's good? What's goody, man? It's your buzzing cousin GhostBoogie. Check it out, man. Welcome back to B-Boys Underground. You know, tonight, this is the second time on B-Boys Underground that we've had Cymarshall Law, man, and I'm looking forward to this interview. As always, he is such a very gifted and talented individual, and we're for anyone catching him for the first time, Cymarshall Law is a New Jersey-based MC, author, entrepreneur, and founder of CyVision Media LLC. Born in England, Jamaican parents, he's built a respected independent career through sharp lyricism, positive messaging, international performances, and a catalog rooted in purpose. Cymarshall Law has spent more than 2 decades moving through hip-hop on his own terms. He's toured across the United States, Europe, Canada, and Japan, built a global underground following, and released a long body of work that includes hip hop and the soul, Freedom Express line, Creator's Kid, the rhythms and poems of Solomon Prince, the Black, the Dutch, and the African, Imperfectly Perfect, 52 Laws of Freedom, the Peaceful Warrior series, and multiple collaborations across the independent hip hop world. His work connected him with artists, producers, and DJs respected in the culture, including Slimline Mutha, Skit Slam, Mr. Joker, The Beatniks, Frigstep, Planet Asia, DJ Rapmatic, Wordsworth, Ramson Bad Bones, the Dot X, Athena the Goddess, Christina Elise, DJ Philip Lee, and DJ Tampa T, and the list goes on. That list speaks to the lane he's built: lyricism, message, boom bap foundation, international reach, and an independent ownership. When he first joined us, we covered the foundation, the music, the message, and the independent road, the discipline behind his work, and what it means to build outside the machine. Since then, his vision has expanded. He released The Peaceful Warrior 2, Raw Self-Expression with Slimline Mutha, a project that continued his focus on truth, discipline, and growth, and especially raw expression. He reconnected with Frigstep for I Know 1981, a project rooted in the era, sound, and principles that shaped him. Now he stepped into another major chapter with Legacy of the Light, a single, a music video, and a science fiction novel connected through one creative world. Alongside that, he's launching CyVision and the Mystical Laws, a children's book series built around imagination, identity, purpose, and growth. He also has a Barnes & Noble author signing coming in Princeton, New Jersey. And The Peaceful Warrior 3 with Slimline Mutha is set for fall 2026 release. This is more than a release cycle. This is an independent hip-hop artist turning his message into music, books, visual, publishing, merchandise, and ownership. It is the work of an artist building his own platform, his own catalog, and his own legacy. So with that being said, let me bring in the one and only Cymarshall Law. How are you doing, family? Good to see you, and welcome back to B-Boys Underground.
Yo, Wagwan GhostBoogie. Yo, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you and everyone listening, tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Big up, big up.
Hey, look, it's so good to have you back on, fam, and I can't wait to get you back and cracking, man. So welcome in. And before we get into like everything, I want to know, it's something that we do like we did the last time, where it's rare that artists have an opportunity to speak directly to the folks that's consuming the media for the first time, or hearing something for the millionth time. Let us know about that song, and basically, anything that you can add to sprinkle some flavor, some seasoning, and then also let us know about the beautiful video and the location where you were at.
Yo, thank you, Ghost. So first, I want to introduce everyone to my 8-year-old son. It was his birthday a couple days ago.
Oh shoot! Happy birthday! How you doing, young man?
Oh, he can't hear you. You don't got no headphones on.
Okay. 8 years old.
So he probably should be in bed, but I can't even do two things at once. So I'm down here with the interview, so he's gonna be here with us until.
Hey man, that's cool, man. He's more than welcome, and shout out on being a dad, man. I know what that's like. I've got twins. They turned 14 last month, and
man.
So salute, man. And
thank you.
That's awesome. 8-year-old, that's a good one. That's when you can really start having talks with them, and then like they start comprehending, and like
I was telling him that when I was his age at 8 is when I moved from England to America, literally at 8 years old. I was 8 and a half.
So that is when you moved from England to America. Was that all right? So
Yeah.
I have a question for you. As you've been going through fatherhood, and we'll get back to the video, but as you've been going through fatherhood and they start going through the different ages that you went through, like you just had that correlation of, man, when I was this age, I was experiencing this, and this is what life looked like and felt like for me. Do you help that like shape the way that you parent, and like, or do you get any like flashbacks or anything from your youth to what he's experiencing and what his life is like?
Not really. I don't feel like I can raise my kids the way I was raised. I think it's just two totally different eras. I can't. So no, I don't take much from when I was growing up, because if I tried to parent my kids like that, they might not like me.
Well, oh look, I'm right here with you on that. Liz, I use it as a way of like, all right, so we ain't gonna do this. I mean, when I was in school, they could at school, the teachers could put hands on you. You act out in class, they're putting hands on you. I mean, it was corporal discipline. So completely.
I don't know if you
different
have any.
today.
I don't know if you got any West Indian friends, probably somewhere.
I do, yeah,
But
absolutely.
ask them how they grew up and how they were raised and how their parents were. So I have two old West Indian parents, and they weren't playing no games.
and neither did mine. Yeah,
No games were played.
Look, hey, much love to everybody that's tuned in right now, and thank you all for being here live. So tell us about that video, fam.
Oh yeah, so we go off track. Usually, when you introduced me, you named all my features almost except the one. Usually, everyone starts off with, which is KRS-One. Shout out to KRS.
Shout out to the the Blast Master KRS-One, man. Yes.
That video that played in the start of the show, we shot that in. Half of it was shot in Austria, in Innsbruck, Austria, and the other half was shot in all over Switzerland, like in Lucerne, Switzerland, and Zurich, Switzerland. I recently did a couple shows over there. I did one show in Austria. I did another show in Switzerland with Bahamadia and DJ Eclipse. It was super dope.
Wow. Yeah.
But while I was over there touring, I was with my 19-year-old son, and he actually helped me shoot the video. So that's like his directorial skills. So besides the two shows that we rocked, we were taking the train all over Switzerland and all over Austria. So what you see in the video was parts of beautiful Switzerland. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen. So shout out to everyone out there who gets to see that every day.
I got you. What was that museum you went through?
Yo, that's a great question. I'm very glad you asked that, because when we got to Austria, the show promoter, we had a day off, and he was like, "Sai, I know you like kind of history stuff. I want to take you to this museum." And he said it's the oldest museum in the world. And when he said that, I literally stopped in my tracks, because I was like, "Motherfucker, what are you talking about? Like, no way.
Museum in the
Like
world?
the oldest one in the world? Like, no way." So I went straight to ChatGPT. Turns out my man was telling the truth. So here's what it is, Ghost. It's the oldest building where someone said they have so many cool artifacts, like paintings, portraits, weaponry. It was the first castle that someone said, "I'm going to explore this and make it a museum." So I'm sure there are like older artifacts, but it's the first actual building in the whole world where someone said, I have so much cool shit in here, I have to make it a museum. So yeah, there is a lot of stuff in there. One of the things that there's a lot of things that I can't remember that I won't forget in there, but you know the dude from the Beauty and the Beast, like the the Beast.
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't know my man was a real person.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he was a real person. They had a whole portrait of him and some of his family members in there, and all the portraits in there. It's actually in the video. The last guy you see in the video is a portrait. That's the Beast. That's a real portrait. So all the portraits in the guy's castle, were real. So we saw all types of crazy things. We saw like giants that were portraits were painted of. We saw like huge swords. We saw like huge armor. And when I'm asking like the museum lady, I'm like, yo, is this stuff real? Because it's like 8 feet tall armor. She's like, yo, back in the day, it was so expensive. They didn't just make it just to make it. So someone used that. So there was like midget armor. There was like huge armor. There was like people all with hair all over their body. It was crazy. So yeah, that's the oldest museum in the world. It's in Innsbruck, Austria.
Wow.
Check it out.
That's dope. I'll have to tell my kids that too. And like even my wife loves the movie Beauty and the Beast, and I don't even know if they know that. Like that was
real
based
person.
off of what was the name of the museum again? Do you remember?
Ambras, or it starts with A. I think it's Ambras, Ambras, but it's in Innsbruck, Austria, Innsbruck, Austria. So I'm sure there's only one oldest museum in Innsbruck, Austria.
That's dope, man. Salute. You know, so the one thing I wanted to ask is, you know, basically since the last time you sat with us, you know, the vision has expanded in every direction. So before we get into each project that you've done, because the last time you were here with us, it was November, mid-November of 2024. And, you know, you've put out a tremendous amount of work, and you're shifting gears, lanes, and spreading everything, right? So, you know, what changed in you that made this new chapter possible, fam?
What changed is the same thing that has been changing and it's continuing to change. It's just me looking at my life and not wanting to be defined by one thing. Like a lot of times people, they get defined by like their first name or their family name, or they get defined by their culture or their skin color, or they get defined by where they were born. All these things that like to put us in a box. And I felt like for the longest time, I put myself in the box of Cymarshall Law. It was like I could only be Cymarshall Law, and if I did anything else, it wasn't right. And I just started thinking about it one day, like, yo, I'm more than Cymarshall Law. Like everyone's more than, like you're more than just Ghost. Like you're a father, you all these types of things, but people will try to put you in a box. And myself, I was putting myself in a box by just running with Cymarshall Law, and it was like I wasn't allowing myself to grow because I couldn't see past this one vision of what I thought my future was supposed to look like, because I was just like Cymarshall Law, Cymarshall Law. So I'm running around doing all these things to prove to myself or to prove to other people that I'm Cymarshall Law, when really I'm so many more things. And when I started to open myself up more, I'm just like, yo, you don't have to put yourself in a box because you're so much more. You have so much more to say, and sometimes when you say your message in different ways, it can get through to people in different ways. So my message in totality is light, it's love, it's motivation, it's uplifting. So my first book that I ever wrote was which I told you about the last time I was on the show, is I Still Love Her, the 52 Laws of Freedom, which is right here. And this was like an autobiography, and within it I told about 52 laws that I made up myself, like laws like don't take where life goes you, don't take where life don't go where life takes you, go where don't take where life goes you.
Don't go where life takes you.
Right, take life where you go is what I've been trying to say for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But with laws, these original laws, I was like, all right, so it's an autobiography. Suppose someone didn't want to read my autobiography because it's quite thick. How else can I spread that message? So I made it into like a small manual where it's like a self-help book. And then I was like, how else can I like get this message across? Because the message is love, upliftment, it's togetherness, it's being the best version of yourself. And it's the same message that I tell my kids every day. It's the same message I tell my family every day. It's the same message you hear in my hip hop, whether it's a braggadocio MC song or like a peaceful song. So I'm like, how can I get this message across to other people? And then honestly, I was inspired by I don't know if you've ever heard someone called Rudy Raymore. But back in the day, he made all types of movies, and
That's Dolomite, man. Come on now.
right. So I don't know if
I have every single soundtrack, every single album, and every single movie he made.
Bet. So in the beginning of his career, they wasn't letting him make movies. They was like saying like your ideas are whack, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then he was like, as you know, he was like, F that, I'm gonna do everything on my own. And not only am I gonna do it on my own, I'm gonna do it the way I wanna do it. So no one can tell me. So instead of me looking for a label or looking for a company to put me on to express my ideas, I was like, you know what? I have this story inside of me, and all the things that I love the most, kung fu, hip hop, sci-fi, superpowers. I have this story, and I've been writing this story since I was a little kid. And I've been writing it in the songs that I've write. So if you look back in my artist history, you can look at songs like Supergirl. You can look at like songs like The Alchemist. You can look at songs like 100 Years. And all the songs that I've ever written in song form, they're actually in this book. And I combined them to make one story. And the laws that I had made in my book, the 52 Laws of Freedom, my first one, I sprinkled them all throughout my fictional story. So it's a fictional story with kung fu, hip hop. Like the guy's a superhero, and he's a hip hop MC as well. And it starts on a distant planet, and it goes to Jamaica, and it goes to England, and it goes to 1990s New Jersey. But all throughout his story, he's learning these lessons, and it's a story about him becoming who he really was supposed to be. So it's just another fictional way to tell him the story that I've been telling through my music. And then I thought, all right, so that might be able to get to people from like the teens to like their older years, like the adults. How can I get someone like my 8-year-old son to get involved too? So I thought about, how does Dr. Seuss do it? And Dr. Seuss has all these, kids books where he's telling rhymes in the book. And I've been an MC, so writing children's rhymes is nothing to me. So I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? I can take my 52 laws, and I can turn them into children's rhymes, and I can get an artist, and I can get a book, and I can become my own Dr. Seuss, Cymarshall Law Dr. Seuss. So within this book, this kid is a superhero MC. He's a super MC, hip hop MC, and he travels all over the world to different parts of the world. He might go to Argentina, he might go to India, he might go to Cambodia, and he meets like other little kids on his journey. And on the journey, like right here, he goes to Jamaica, and each little kid teaches him a lesson, and one of the lessons are the lessons that I, invented, and I changed them into kid form. So someone like my 8-year-old son, or like your 8-year-old son, or whoever's 8-year-old son also could understand the lesson. So I wrote it also for my hip hoppers, because a lot of hip hoppers have kids that are like, 8 years older. Like the people that came up with us, Ghost, they have kids that are like around your kid's age, my kid's age, and that's the age of these books. So I go to a lot of hip hop shows, and a lot of the people that I'm selling my vinyl records for, they have kids too. So I'm like, yo, this is a great way for me to get my message off as I'm selling the parent my vinyl record, because they just want my raw hip hop where I'm spitting them dope raps. But in between those raps, I have my lessons as well. They have a kid, and now I can sell my vinyl with my kid's book. And if they don't have a kid, maybe they want to read my grown-up fictional book. Maybe they just love Marvel movies and kung fu and hip hop and stuff like that. Because all throughout the book, as you're reading it, you're like, yo, damn, Cy loves hip hop, because you're seeing Gangstar references, you're seeing Bruce Lee references. You see, you know what I'm saying? It's 1990s New Jersey, so all the things that we grew up loving, it's all about that. And then additionally, Ghost, one thing that I've never seen that I'm hoping to be the main person to like bring this forth out in the world, I've never seen the story of the immigrant told that grew up in East Coast hip hop, specifically England. Like there's a lot of immigrants from all over the world, but I'm specifically talking about Jamaica and England that grew up in America. I've never seen that story told, and we're all over the place. There's so many West Indians in hip hop, so that's literally my story and a lot of other people's stories that have not been told. Like, because Ghost, remember, I came here when I was 8, so all my best friends, they're Americans. All my guys, they're American guys. So they grew up totally different from me. They grew up like listening to jazz. Their mom might have been listening to Duke Ellington or Ella Fitzgerald. As where when I grew up, my parents was listening to Garnet Silk, Desmond Decker, Barris Hammond, all old Jamaican people. So our the way we grew up is just different, and then what immigrants have to go through as they're coming up in America and then getting into hip hop. So everything that I'm doing, whether it's my books or music, I've created not just a book, I've created a universe because all this stuff intertwines and goes together. And I've never really saw another hip hop artist do the exact same thing in the same way. And that is the legacy of the light. That's my legacy. That's my light. It's my light that I'm shining on, whether it's my books or I'm shining on my children. It's the legacy of believing in yourself and believing so much that you know you don't have to just be one thing. You're everything. You're unlimited. So that was a long ass answer, Ghost, but it was the truth.
Nah, look, that's what we like, long answers. We like that. You know, more you talk, the less I talk, it's better. You know, I want to do one thing because I know that some folks are saying that we're buffering. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and we're going to do a refresh. So if you don't mind, while I and you both, if we can like close out of the browser and then restart it. So we can do this. And while we do that, y'all listen to this beat from Herbs One, y'all. Welcome back. I hope y'all folks out there in the universe let us know if we're looking better, sounding better, and all of that stuff, because we've got so much dope content that we got to get back into that we don't want to miss any of this. And so, I mean, like, I want to start where basically we'll do this. My thing is I wanted to know, you know, when you look at everything that you're building now, the music, the books, CyVision Media, you know, your merch, your videos, and especially like the Barnes and Noble signing, you know, what's the larger mission tying it all together?
The larger mission of it all is I try to put it out front and center as the legacy of the light. It's the legacy when I'm gone one day, hopefully it's a long time from now,
Amen to that.
this might sound crazy to you. It might sound corny. It might sound, I don't know. It don't really matter, but it's the honest
It
truth.
doesn't matter. It's the truth.
I need to leave the world in a better place.
Yeah, that part.
Every day we wake up, we scroll, we see problems left, right, front, center. We see people going through all different types of drama. We see, hold on. Orion, stop touching the remote. I don't know what you're doing. We see all types of drama and like craziness. And the main thing that if I had all four of my kids here now, they could tell you what the main thing Dad always tells us, and it's to be good people. It's to be good people, because there's a lot of people out there that are just fucking assholes for no reason. Or maybe they do have a reason. I think a lot of it is like projection. I feel like people take their lives out on other people, regardless of why they're acting like that. I just feel like it doesn't have to be like that. And I feel like if you have a moral compass and a heart, that you can make the world a better place. And I've always tried to do that through either my music or my artistry. And I don't know, I tend to think a lot. Sometimes I just look at the sky. I've always just been one of those kids that read 1,000 books, and I always think about my purpose. Like, why are we here? Like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing? Like, do we matter? And I'm like, if we do matter, I want to make sure what I do does matter. And that's part of the reason why for so long I was like trying so hard to Cymarshall Law, because I was thinking I have to make a mark on the planet. I have to like make the planet a better place. And through my music, I was thinking I can show people how to follow their heart and spirit and soul. And I was trying to show people that you didn't have to conform and live a life that you didn't want to live. A lot of people work 9 to 5s they don't want to do. They conform. They do all this BS that they don't want to do. And the reason I tried so hard at being Cymarshall Law is because I wanted to show people, if you believed in yourself, if you were positive, if you did the right things, you could live the life you wanted to live. And it didn't necessarily turn out the way I thought it would turn out. And that's what led me to this. It's because I was thinking that Cymarshall Law was supposed to get a certain lifestyle, which I thought equated to success. And I realized before I effed it up, I realized what I was aiming for was not exactly success. Success would be me sitting here right now in my studio with my 8-year-old son who loves me and my family, all the bills paid. And so I'm aiming for this thing, and I'm like, yo, that's not even really what success is, because a lot of these motherfuckers out there with money right now, they're not even happy. So it's more about who can you go to sleep at night with, who you are as a person. So my legacy, whether it's my books, my music, my family, it's being the best version of yourself. I know we all mess up sometimes. I'm definitely not perfect. I haven't been perfect. I've messed up myself. But it's about getting up and trying to be better the next day, and like getting up 8 times if you fall down 7. So I feel like that is the message I'm trying to get out there. Like, you are enough, because the world will definitely try to tell your ass that you're not enough in every different way. And if the world is not trying to tell you that you're not enough, there'll be someone who is jealous of your light, trying to pull you down, trying to make you think that you're not enough because you're shining your light, and they're jealous that you're not afraid to shine your light, so they want to pull you down, make you as low as them. But Cymarshall Law is not conforming, and part of not conforming is not allowing yourself to be affected by that negative energy and turn negative yourself. Because a lot of people effort you every day, and you can turn around and do the same thing back to them, but then the cycle of hate continues. So it can be very lonely. And I tell my children that, because a majority of the people on earth, I don't know if they're good people. So it can be lonely when you always want to do the right thing, and sometimes it feels like you're just out there alone, just getting effed up by the world, where people get to do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, I feel like you always end up getting what you deserve. So
Yeah,
I feel like you,
karma, karma's real, and what you put out there is what you get back, for sure. And I appreciate that because I have a question for you too. You
Ghost.
got me now.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, my bad. The one thing that I wanted to ask you was, do you ever battle any of those voices, the negative voices internally? Instead of just the other people that put things on you, do you ever encounter where, you know, the pressure from the outside is also pressure from inside too?
Absolutely. And that's why I try to meditate every day. And to be very specific, so I feel like thoughts are objective.
Hmm.
So when you say, do you battle these things? I do, because I live in a world where I turn on the TV and I see all this negativity. I turn on social media, I see negativity. So as I'm reading these things, as I'm watching these things, as I'm experiencing negativity around me, I'm seeing other people doubt themselves. I see fear mongering. I think thoughts are objective. So as I'm thinking about these things, they're outside of me. So they're not exactly me.
Yeah.
So, but if I allow myself to become those thoughts, and it's the same thing I was saying earlier about Cymarshall Law, like people become things, like they become their thoughts. And these thoughts, I don't think they're even mine. I think they're objective. I feel like thoughts are like clouds. I feel like people will hold on to a thought or will hold on to an emotion and will try to become that emotion. Like they'll become the emotion of anger or they'll become the emotion of fear and get consumed in that. Or some people get consumed in thoughts. But I feel like at my best version, at my highest self, at your highest self, Ghost, at all our highest selves, I feel like we're love. We're all the best things. So all the negativity, the thoughts that might come to me of he can't do it. I don't even when I'm at my purest, when I've come out of meditation, I can catch those thoughts and just go like move them away because I don't even feel they're me because the real me, the real you, Ghost, is confident, it's loving, it's all the best things. So any negative bullshit that comes along that might come to us to make we might be like, we can't do it. That's not really us. That's not really you. Like you are the illest, Ghost. Anything that you ever thought about you not being the greatest is wrong. All those thoughts those are not you. So I feel like people don't understand that. They have these negative emotions and thoughts and they feel like they have to become them. Like sometimes people have like these automatic reactions, like someone steps on your shoe, automatic reaction is like, yo, I gotta be mad at this motherfucker. No, that's just a thought you've been given somewhere, whether it's from a movie or someone told you that, or like someone does something to you and your reaction is like, you have to be mad. No, you don't have to be mad. Like you at your best self is all love. And I feel like yeah, I battle these things because I'm in tune to the world, and the world can be negative sometimes, and I'm paying attention. And at my best self, I just try to clear myself of all the negativity. But yeah, it happens. It happens to me.
One of the things that I've learned, I'm very open and honest, with, all of my health battles and challenges that I've had, and, I've had to have, a lot of therapy just to be able to hold it together for my family and trying to figure out how to be the best me, of course. And, I've had a lot of negative thoughts that I battle, on a daily basis. And one of the things that I had learned, and it was a great thing through therapy, was thoughts are not facts. Like you
Right.
said, right? Thoughts
Right.
are thoughts, but and like you said, also something that's so critical and key too, that gets everyone that's incarcerated, really messed up, is that those automatic reactions where, you at at your core, when you're born without shame. Shame's assigned to you by other people, by the environment, by the culture that you're around, whatever, right? Shame's assigned to you, and you take that on as an individual, and that shapes and forms who you are if you allow it to, and especially if you allow it to continue to, and you give it power over
Right.
and
This is
build
exactly
into
what I
it.
mean.
Yeah, so I mean that in itself, what you're saying, and with it putting, with you type, with you putting that message into what it is that you do. I mean, that's so dope to be able to share that message, because it's a message that isn't shared enough. And when you think about hip hop and you think about some of the messaging in hip hop, it's more so where you have to, instead of being an individual and having your own individual, especially nowadays, right? Instead of you having your own individuality and you're being you and being vulnerable to be yourself, and not really care about what other people think, because it's not your right to be able to worry or change or focus on what other people think about you. So all you can do is just, and one of my favorite songs is one of my theme songs, Steve Arrington and Slave. Nobody can be you but you. Take it back to the
Hmm.
funk era, and that's you. I mean, so the people that are normally the most successful or come off the most genuine are the people that aren't afraid to be vulnerable and put themselves out there. And yeah, they understand that not everyone's going to like you, and that's going to be normal, you know?
Right.
Um, so yeah, no, salute to you for that, fam.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
So,
sorry.
I want to know, let's get into the Legacy of the Light. Take us into Legacy of the Light. What is the story, and why did it need to exist now?
The story needed to exist because one of the things I touched upon earlier is because the main character, the protagonist in the book, is a kid. He was born in England and he moves to New Jersey in the 1990s, and he grows up in hip hop. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons it needs to be told, because the West Indian immigrant never really got their chance to have their shine and their story be told in hip hop. But beyond that, it needs to be told because in hip hop, there are a lot of stories that I see every day, and a lot of the stories are surrounded by negativity. And I don't want to say those stories don't need to be told, because I feel like the full picture always needs to be told. But that's just it. The full picture needs to be told. The other side needs to be told.
Yeah.
So as if it's fine if we're gonna tell stories like we watching Power, that's a hip hop story. We watching whatever hip hop stories we see on TV, but at the same time, it's not the full picture, and hip hop is worldwide. So my story stretches from Jamaica to England to America, and even before that, it starts on a distant planet, and it's about the diaspora of one planet to the next, from one country to the next, or just keeping a story alive that wasn't that could have died down if it wasn't allowed to live through generations and generations. So I feel like it's all about the legacy, and I feel like a lot of us have a legacy that doesn't deserve to die, but if we don't do something about it, then it's gonna die, and that's what this book is about. And it's more than that. It's also about the human spirit. So the antagonists or the villains in the movie, or actually I wrote it as a movie to begin with. That's why I said movie, and then I turned it into a book. I'm hoping that one day it becomes a movie. But it's about these villains called the Damn Liars who thrive on stealing the human spirit, because humans, we create art, we create music, we create love, we create all these beautiful things that make the world go round. And on their planet, that is what makes the planet die. So they see Earth and they see all these humans doing all this creative, beautiful things, whether it's us building houses or us learning kung fu, us using our heart to make all these dances and all these beautiful things. But that spirit, that soul we have, that makes the planet go round, is what kills their planet. So they saw our planet thriving with that, and they're like, yo, we have to zero in on that planet and take it out. But there was this boy who was prophesied to be the next one to destroy their planet and bring the evil race and the good race together. And he was a child who was born of both races. So the story is about him becoming who he was supposed to be, and really finding out about his superpowers, because his family, they're like superheroes, but he didn't know he was one. He didn't even believe it, because they had to, I don't want to give away the whole book, but they wanted to escape. They needed to escape the first planet. They escaped to Jamaica, and then years later is when something happened. I don't want to say what happened, but the boy realized he had powers, and he had to flee from England to America. And he's a hip hop MC, and so superpowers, it's kung fu, and it's lessons also. It had to be told, because there's nothing like it. There is nothing like it. I was trying to combine like the feeling of house party class act with like a Marvel movie. Or like dope. And like a Game of Death Bruce Lee thing.
That's
so I
really
just
dope.
Yeah, so I feel like there's never been anything like that in hip hop, but I feel like there should be. I know for a fact if someone got this to like the right person, this would be like a hell of a TV show. Like a hell of a TV show. Like, because I don't know if you ever watched like English movies like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels or Snatch or.
Yeah, Snatch is one of my all-time favorites, man.
All right, so there you go. Some of my American friends love those English movies just because the way the English accent sounds. So that hasn't really been brought over into America the way it could be, like with hip hop involved. Like they could really go in on that. Like as far as how in Snatch the dialogue, the lingo. So that, but like, so that you seen something like Top Boy. Do you know what Top Boy is? It's like an English series.
No, I don't think I've seen that one. No.
So it's like combining the English slang with the American hip hop and kung fu and superpowers all at the same time, and I really blend it all together well. So as I had to reread the book so many times to make sure there weren't any mistakes, and as I'm reading it, I'm enjoying reading it my damn self. So I'm like reading Bruce Lee references, Gang Starr references, Big L references. Like there's like a scene where the dad comes into the room and I'm describing everything that's in the kid's room, and he's like, he got Gang Starr posters up, he got nunchucks on the wall. So it's just like all the things that we love and hip hop combined together. So I feel like it's a story that's never been told, but needed to be told, especially from an immigrant perspective. Because there's a lot of immigrants in hip hop. Hip hop is super diverse, like every culture, and I feel like everyone's story needs to be told. So this is just my way of telling my people's story.
Dope, man. And because I was gonna ask you, what part of the story reflects your own life, but it seems like this is your life, but told in a different. In a sci-fi manner, right?
Yeah.
Applying it, so
I definitely took some stories from my own life and put it into the book as the main character. The main character is called Ty. That's my oldest son's name.
That's dope, man. So when you release Legacy of Light, it's gonna be both a novel, a single, and a music video, and I want to know, I guess, probably the answer, I would assume, which came first. Was it the book? Was it the song, the visual, the message? Like, what came first, like, that made, say, I'm going to do this?
The first thing was from my first album ever, Hip Hop in the Flesh, which came out in 2007. There's a song on it called The Alchemist. if you listen to that song, you can see directly where I got the idea for this book from. But then if you go to another one of my, I think my second album has a song called Supergirl on it. You'd be like, damn, if I mixed Alchemist and Supergirl together, I would probably have this book. Then if you go another album deeper, you might find it a song called 100 Years. You might be like, damn, if I mix all three of these songs together, it really sounds like so. Like I really did that.
That's dope.
So, yeah.
You know, I want to know what was harder for you, writing the bars for the record, writing scenes and characters for the novel.
Um, the scenes and characters for the novel, because I have never done it before.
Yeah.
So,
Did you have
and
any
that's
help?
nah,
So
and
that's all you know, ghostwriters, nothing. It's just straight up you as far as writing the whole thing out.
yeah, it took me about. I mean, I want to say I've been writing it since 2007, but I haven't been because I started those songs and I didn't have the idea. But I started writing it probably in 2018,
Okay.
on and off.
Yeah.
So it's taken a long time. It's a lot of rewriting, a lot of rereading, um, and a lot of humility. A lot of me being scared of what people might think because I'm reading it. I'm like, I think it's good. I gave it to my mom. She's like, she says it's good. I'm like, but that's my mom.
Right. Yeah. You're always like, all right, mom, tell me you bullshitting me or you telling me the real, right? You
when
know.
I when I wrote my first book, it was less scary because it's my autobiography. It's my story. I just tell what happened.
Yeah.
Um, the main scary part that I had is I was always a great English student, always top tier in the highest English classes, but I never liked following the rules. I would write the greatest essays, greatest stories, but my punctuation wasn't always the greatest. So that was scary as hell. But a few years ago, maybe like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I found out about this thing called Grammarly. I don't know if you ever heard of it
Oh
before.
yeah, of course. I love Grammarly.
Oh, well, I signed up, got myself an account, and
I
that's
needed that
why
shit too. I needed that shit too.
you. So that's but yeah, you said did you have help? Me and Grammarly was like this. So
Yeah.
and then I had editors as well. After I did the Grammarly thing, I paid for like an editor on Fiverr. I don't know
Okay.
if you ever heard of Fiverr.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great thing to
Um,
be able to put outsource
yeah, it's
stuff
been
and get
a
paid
lifesaver.
too.
So not like a co-writer, but like Grammarly and Fiverr and my mom's.
Yeah. Well, that's dope. You know, I want to know what did writing that novel teach you about patience? I mean, especially since, you started writing in, we'll say, '07, and then, you had the iteration of album and you started adding the layers. And then by 2018, it's like, all right, we're going to start putting this thing together, right? And here we are. It's, you know, basically 8 years later, right? Or
I don't
uh,
know if it taught me anything about patience. My kids probably teach me about patience. It probably didn't teach me. It
amen to
probably,
that too.
it probably didn't teach me about patience because I wasn't in a rush. I wasn't. I
Okay.
never saw it as like. I just wasn't in a rush. I was always hip hop MC first. Like maybe I was trying to like rush my out, but I'm not really a rush guy. That's one thing. If you knew me, that I do a lot of stuff, but I can't stand being rushed. Like
Okay.
don't rush me. I'm gonna
That's
move at my own pace.
that's dope too. I mean, because you know, especially being in the industry that you're in, there's a lot of outside pressure, a lot of outside expectation. You have it from, the folks that follow you, your fans, and then
Friends, my homie
your
asked me why I wasn't on
friends,
Hot 97.
keeping up with the industry, keeping up with, the trends and all of the staying on top and being current, and just there's a lot of rush
It's
in the system.
wild.
And
It's
especially now
wild.
in the digital era where, there's not a cycle, where things were put out on Tuesdays, and then everything was shut down in December. Like everybody's just releasing anything and everything at any point in time.
Yo, it's wild. To be honest, Ghost, I might take a break soon
Yeah,
because, geez, Louise, it's been nonstop.
I mean, you're getting ready to release the album, out, and another album. You're part three to the series, in November. So I mean, that's dope too.
Part of me wanted to take a break, if I'm being honest, but I felt like I had a little bit of momentum, and I felt like if I took a break, it might have been a long break. So I just wanted to finish what I started. And that's with all this stuff. Like I have been working so hard. Like I got to the point where like I could have sat down for the rest of the year now, but I have all this stuff, and it's like I should probably put it out. I just worked. So I did all this work, and it was tiring. But now I'm here, and I'm like, now I gotta put it out.
Being a creative, that you are, and especially getting into all these different lanes, do you have a situation internally where it's like, all right, I have all of these thoughts flooding my mind, and I don't know where to start and begin, or where to put my energy? Or do you ever get paralysis from, like, I've got all of this that I want to do and put out in this message, and it's like I want to, because for me, I'm a perfectionist and I struggle with that, you know what I mean? And that gives me paralysis, if I'm just being 100% honest and vulnerable. Erica Badu said I'm an artist, so I'm serious, I'm sensitive about my shit, or whatever she said. But
No, that's cool.
yeah,
I think most people are maybe not most people, but I think a lot of people are like you specifically. I know a lot of people like that, so that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's real shit. Um, that doesn't happen to me. Um,
got you.
um, how do I put this to be transparent? I'm trying to be nice about it. I don't really give a fuck about what people think or what they're doing. Like I'm definitely always gonna do what I want to do, and if I have an idea, I'm gonna do it, and I'm not going to wait to see if, not to say you or anyone else does that, but me, like if I have an idea to write a book,
Hmm.
I'm gonna write the book. If I had an idea to start a clothing line, I'm gonna start a clothing line. If I have an idea and say I need to go to Switzerland, I'm going to get to Switzerland, but like without playing around. And I've definitely seen a lot of people in my lifetime see the way I'm moving and not really understand it. This is on some legacy of the light shit. This is your life. This is my life. So if I have something I want to do, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, that's
And like
dope.
right now too. So yeah.
I mean, salute to you and respect to you for that. And I like the way that you said it, because you're not supposed to, at the end of the day, give a fuck what other people think about it, as going back to what we said earlier, right? Because do you, be you, and you know don't get caught up in that shit. And you're going to find your audience, you're going to find your people, you're going to find the people that the message is for, and that's going to relate with you and rock with you. They're going to, you're going to find them, and it's going to be organic, because you're not going to have to, because if you're faking the funk, right, you can only do it for so long, and it's not going to really be consistent, because it's not truly you. But when you're truly being your genuine self,
It's easy. Or
yeah,
maybe not easy, but it's easier.
it's easier, right? Yeah, it takes you, because you don't have to worry about, oh, I had to be like this, or all of that stuff. So nah, it's dope. I want to transition, because the children's book thing too. When you gave me the information and everything like that, and had we linked up, I was like, yo, this is dope though, because what made you want to even get into the children's book forum too, like, because that's a whole different get down, especially being like a hip hop artist, um, and you have to maybe change your voice, or do you have to like what's a different approach is what I'm ultimately trying to get at, that you took from doing uh basically Legacy of the Light to the children's books, the 52 Laws.
Well, the best thing that I think is about me is that I'm a good dad. I pat myself on the back of being a good dad.
Oh yeah.
So all my kids, my oldest is 24. They all grew up around hip hop. They all saw everything, and one of the things they know about dad is dad will walk around the house singing rhymes. So I've been rhyming to them forever. And my latest one, the 8 year old, my youngest one, he was the surprise of my life. So when he came, I always used to try to find ways to to communicate with him before he could even really talk like that. And I used to say like these rhymes to him.
Hmm.
So it just dawned on me one day, like, yo, I'm always teaching my kids lessons and I'm always rhyming at them at the same time. Other people could use this. And it's just not putting yourself in a box, like not saying my name's Cymarshall Law and I can only release albums. No, I'm more than that. I'm their dad. What I'm saying, I'm author. So how can I put these things together and leave my mark? Like it all comes back to the same thing. It all comes back to the same universe. Everything I'm doing, and it's just like the light. Like how can I leave my light? I try to, leave my light in my kids every day. They go out and they're their own lights, but how can we extend it past this household? And these books that I have, these children's books, they have a lot of lessons in it. Like when my son read it, the 8 year old, for I wish I might have it on camera. He turned around. He was sitting in the seat right next to me. He read it, and he turned around and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, there's a lot of love in these books." And I was like, "Yes, yes,
Man.
yes,
And
yes,
your son's gonna
yes."
tell you the real. Your
I
son
was
will
like,
tell you.
"Yes, yes, that's it. I
awesome.
did it. I did it." I was like, "I did it. I did it. I know I did it." All these books just have to get into the hands of other kids. I'm like, yo, so I've been fighting to do this thing in hip hop to leave my mark the whole time. I'm like, let me find out it's gonna be through the children's books.
Man, that's dope. You know, what lessons are you trying to give children through this series?
To believe in themselves, to let them know that they're enough, to let them know that they can do anything, that they can create anything. I start getting a bit I don't get like deep spiritually, but like metaphysically, I start like teaching them about their energy and like what they're able to accomplish. And if they are thinking positively, more than likely positive things will happen. Like, so they're big lessons, but I make them small so a 7 or 8 year old can understand. And I think that's the greatest thing, because when he turned around and said that, I was like, I did it. It fucking worked. So I know I have like all these books, and it's a series, children's series, 10 books I have. So far, I've printed up 4 of them, but they're all done. And my goal is that they can be spread internationally. And, it's still hip hop. The kid's a little hip hop MC. So I made sure that I brought myself in it. A few years ago, I started wearing bucket hats all the time. So I made
the always wear bucket hats too.
So I made the little kid in the video with a bucket, not in the book, with a bucket hat, with the CyVision logo. This, I don't know if you knew, but CyVision means to always be yourself and never conform. So that's also the message throughout the books, throughout these kids, because this life will try to make you conform. This every day on TV, I'm seeing some type of agenda, something trying to make the kids go one way or another. And I just want to let the kids know you don't have to listen to anything or anybody. Just be yourself, and you are enough.
Man, I wish you had these books out when I was coming up, because I agree, and this is something that I try to tell my kids, and I've tried to tell them since day one, and that is that, and you hit the nail on the head. That's a message that needs to be just blasted out, to all the nations. And I think if that was the case, there would be a lot more peace and light in the world, like you like to say. And you've mentioned multiple times, like, it's such an important, and that's a beautiful message, man. And salute to you for that, because you know I want to know, how did you write for the children without watering down the message? Because you have to speak to the children and youth in a different way than maybe that you could come across to someone that is of age or a different maturity level and can understand concepts and messaging differently, or even just words and everything like that. Well, how did you how did you keep it simple without making it shallow? That's what I'm trying to say.
Just not using big words like metaphysical that my 8-year-old wouldn't know what that meant.
Gotcha.
Might change metaphysical as just energy or soul. So just using words that they understand, really.
Gotcha. So that took a lot of time and thought and intention, and when you were sitting down, was it easier or harder or the same to write the two, like in between, uh, the two different books, or the children's series and then the adult?
So here's a different way to say it. So within the books almost wrote themselves because I had already written them. So let me show you. So if you look at my first book, I Still Love Her, The 52 Laws of Freedom.
Yes.
So let me just flip to one of the rules. So Law 27, fear is the problem. So I have 52 laws. So in the way that I write rhymes, a lot of times I don't write rhymes from A to Z. Sometimes I'll write down all the things I want to say. Like I'll have no beat and I'll have a pen and paper and just write down all the things that I want to say. Like I won't even be rhyming. Like this is a fact I want to say, or I thought about this. And then after I have let's say I have 12 sentences, I'll start, like, say I have a sentence and the sentence is, fear is whack. And that's a sentence. I might just come up with, then I'll make that the second sentence. And then the first sentence would be like, beer, this is not going to make sense, but beer is fat. So beer is fat rhymes with fear is whack. So I would have these sentences and then I would just simplify the sentence. And then after I've simplified the second sentence, it was easy for me to write the first sentence. So it was just like that.
That's dope. Yeah, yeah. All right. Moving on to like the CyVision Media Group and ownership, and you had mentioned, what CyVision meant, and my thing is what does ownership mean to you at this stage in your career?
Ownership means what I will be able to give my family, my children specifically. So I have all these assets, and what are mine? Some people don't own their record. Some people get signed to a record and they might only get a percentage. But I'm in a great position right now where I'm not signed to any big label, and everything that I have, whether it's my books or my music or my vinyl records, I own them all. And because I own them all, these streams of income, they should live forever and ever and ever. So ownership to me means something that you're able to make profit off of. And that doesn't necessarily always mean money, just profit in any way. Whether it's spiritual profit or monetary profit, just something you're able to own and make more off of, any way you can make more off of, whether it's money or love or whatever it is. So you have these assets, and then these assets, can you pass them down to other people so they can become a benefit to other people as well? Or did they end after you? And to me, real ownership is having something that can be passed down through generation, like a physical house. but it's not yours if you haven't finished paying the mortgage. So do you own it? So ownership is really about owning, like not halfway owning, not like you're paying a lease on the car, like you own it. Like I own the book, it's mine, I wrote it, I own the album, and whatever it is, hopefully one day I own this house with no mortgage. But that's what I mean, being able to really pass it down
Right.
so someone else can benefit off of it. Ownership is responsibility. It's accountability. And I'm responsible for my children. I'm responsible for the things that I produce. And the things that I produce, I own and take accountability for them. And I feel like that's huge. Not blaming other people for your circumstances is not ownership. And I like to have ownership over my life. A lot of people point to blame, and when you point to blame, you lose all power. So ownership is seeing your life and seeing the problems within it, owning them so you can make them better, so that you don't pass those problems down to other people. You turn them into solutions that you own now and can pass on to other people, and they can benefit other people.
I like that. Yeah, man. Because I mean, that is true. I mean, yeah, I wanted to know, like, was there a industry lesson early on that pushed you towards this mindset?
Yeah, there was, but I didn't listen. I wish I would have listened a lot earlier. I would be in a much better position. A very long time ago, things were pushing me towards where I'm at now, and I started, but I stopped. And I should have never stopped. The things that were pushing me towards ownership. My dad owned Freedom Sound in England. It's a reggae sound set. So ownership's always been in our family. He owned Freedom Sound. But I also feel like the universe might have been protecting me by not allowing me to get into any big record label contract, because we've seen what happened to a lot of motherfuckers who got into those.
Yes.
So they didn't own their stuff, and they got fucked metaphorically and let me cut it out.
Yeah, I already know what you mean. Yeah.
So
They sell
that
their soul in a way.
right, so that I didn't end up getting signed. I didn't end up having someone take my masters, and luckily. But back then, while I was trying to get on and the universe wasn't allowing me to get on, the universe was also telling me, do it by yourself. And I wasn't listening. I mean, I started, because Freedom Entertainment, it's my label. Me and my brother built it long ago. I have the actual certificate, trademark certificate right there on my wall. And that's from years ago. But I started that, and I just stopped. I started trying to get signed again. I started sending demos in the mail. I started looking for other people to validate me, and it's crazy, because when you get older, you realize you're trying to be validated by people who are invalid.
That's a message, and that's a bar right there.
Yeah, but you don't. Sometimes as a kid, you don't see these things. You just, you don't realize what success really is. And luckily, I feel like I've realized what success is at a good time. Because a lot of people never really find success, not because they didn't get it, but because they're not looking at the right place.
Okay. Yeah.
And I feel like what people really want in this life is peace and freedom. And I have both. So I'm very successful.
That's dope, man. I want to ask you, though, what does independence cost that fans never see, though? Because, there's ups and downs, and there's other sides and different levels to the game, right? Like, let everybody know.
Fam. Yo, let me show you. Actually, see all these books right here?
Yeah.
They're all the times I effed up and messed up. And over here is the couple times that I did it right. So, independence is investing in yourself. And when I say invest, I don't mean just money, I mean time as well. It is being able to be alone. A lot of times when I was writing these books or when I'm writing my music, when I'm making a beat, whatever, I'm in the studio alone. And you might have friends that you grew up with, but those friends might not do the same things as you. So you spend a lot of time alone. You might want to go to the hip hop show, but your friends might not love hip hop as much as you. And I'm using hip hop, and you can put anything else in the space of hip hop. You might want to do painting, and your friends might not like painting. So independence is a lot about being brave, because you might not be doing the same things as everyone else. And then even when you're an independent artist, you get grouped with all the other independent artists. So if you are really brave, you have to find a way to be independent from the independent artists. Like, how can I be different from the other 3,600 rappers? Because I know a lot of MCs with bars. I just seen a NJ Cypher. I seen mad bars. How am I going to say all my bars are always better than everyone else's? How? As a matter of fact, it's perspective. So, okay, if everyone has bars, how can I be different from the next man? All right, so when I watch your videos, all y'all keep wearing, I keep seeing Nike in your video. I keep seeing all the brands in your video. Matter of fact, you look like a commercial for one of these brands. But when you watch a Cymarshall Law video, you just seeing my shit, left, right, front, and center. CyVision, Cymarshall Law. So I was like, I bet that's one way I could be different. I don't have to, because when you see me, you see my logo all over. When you watch your favorite rapper's video, he wearing Nike this, he wearing Jordan that, he wearing, not to kick them down, but I'm just being honest and real. Not only that, can you be independent, and can you risk being I was gonna say humiliated, that's not the right word. Can you risk not being what people expect you to get somewhere else? Sometimes you have to do something different to get somewhere you've never been before. So that's me. Right, so that's me with the children's books. Because if you listen to my songs, I have all types of songs. I have songs where I'm like, I got songs with Sean Price, that, one of the hardest rappers I know, but yet here I am with a children's book. So how, like, isn't that me risking my reputation? Like, this nigga's writing children's books. But it's like, who are you? And I'm me. Yeah. Meaning that if someone brings that to me, I'm the same as, I can write a children's book, but I can also be like, you, like I'm just being honest, I'm me. So it's about, independent is about being honestly you and being able to do what you want to do without fear of people not fucking with you.
Yeah.
And if you can get that monkey off your back, you can do great things, because you're going to be in a lane by yourself. Because I'm sure I'm not the first person to think of some of the ideas I thought of, but I did do them shits. Oh, this is a great thing for me to say. So what I'm talking about as far as like just doing things when I notice things. The other day I saw I kept seeing this meme, and it said Goapoli was the first black artist to have a video on YouTube, and I saw it like 3 times in one day, and I was like, what? Let me look into this. Right, I was like, let me look into this shit, because I'm like, what is you talking about? So I looked into it. And she dropped a video in 2005. Yo, YouTube came out in 2005, I think.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh. So she dropped a video in 2005, and she was like the first black female artist. And then, you know what made me start thinking about Ghost? I was like, damn, mad years ago, when I dropped my first ever video, I remember thinking at that time, Nobody's dropping videos. Like the people around me, like the independent hip hoppers, they're not dropping. Like I remember because it was MySpace days, and I remember looking around like there ain't no damn videos. Like for the independent art.
Yeah.
So I dropped a video, and then after I saw Goapoly's thing, I was like, you know what? Let me go back and see what the date on my shit was, and it said March 10th, 2007. Now, you can look at many, 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 many independent hip hop artists. Not many are gonna have a video on YouTube before March 10th, 2007.
Yeah.
But you know who did?
You. Yeah.
Me. That's something I don't know if I was ever going to get credit for, but I'm going to start talking about it more because I was looking up mad different artists and I was like, I had a video before him, like artists who are way bigger than me. But Little Old Cymarshall was, yo,
Include that, put that shit in your bio.
March 10th, 2007. That shit is up there. So, but it just goes to show, like back then I wasn't afraid of doing things that like weren't the norm. Like I could have Addiction.
Addiction, right on. Oh, I love that song too. Yeah.
Yeah, I drove to Boston to shoot that video. I didn't shoot the video. I found someone on MySpace to shoot the video. I drove to Boston. Dude shot it on his little like Sony camera or whatever. But yeah, it's up there, March 10th, 2007. And see if you can find a video before that from your favorite independent artist. I tried. I couldn't. There's a couple, but like from like I'm not talking about like major labels. I'm talking about like independent hip hop,
independent underground, like
right,
real, yeah, the real shit, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I was like one of the very first in line on YouTube.
Behind them,
right. I
behind them.
I couldn't even find one before me, to be honest. I'm sure there are, but shit, I was right at the beginning.
Look, y'all, we're getting a history lesson. He already told you, and you got a chance to see at the beginning of the show. The world's first museum, and he shot a music video in that, and now he told you who the first independent artist to put something in him, March 7th 2000 or March 10th 2007. Yo, that's dope. Like, so I mean, the biggest thing before we start getting into the music, because I know it's important to you for the folks to understand that you are now and want to be recognized and moving into the space of just not an MC or an artist, but you are an entrepreneur, you are an author, you are this brand, and I'd say a multimedia corporation at this point, right? So
Yep.
you're like your own Marvel. You're trying to create your own Marvel. I know science fiction and the comic aspect of it and the sci-fi aspect of it is something that's kind of a theme throughout all of your career, and it resonates with me because I grew up, I turned 50 this year, so I mean, I look
Nice.
at it like this,
Congrats.
that hey, thanks. I died twice on the way there, but let's make sure we don't do it again.
Got
Uh
you.
the biggest thing is that I grew up with Star Wars and the Indiana Jones and all of the comic books, Spider-Man and Superman was my shit too. The original like Christopher Reeves one and all of this stuff. So that was really big in our generation, right? And did that influence you in any way to do what you're doing now?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. My dad was a big sci-fi guy, so he was always watching like Star Trek and Star Wars, and that was all throughout our house. I can remember the first movie I think I ever saw was Batman in the movie theater, and I remember it doesn't happen anymore, but geez, I remember the line was around the block, like for the movie.
With
I I, I can't remember the last time I saw that.
Man, come on, man. That Batman, I mean, that was the first real Batman movie with Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
Because
that's the one I'm talking about.
you had the corny one with the
Tim
homeboy.
Burton?
Yeah, no,
Not Tim Burton.
what's this? Great Scots. You know where
Yeah,
they.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like that one. Yeah, and they would dance and shit. Like, yeah, that nah. I loved that Batman, and of course, man, Prince did the soundtrack to it. I mean, come on, that
Yeah.
that's
So,
that's
and then growing up, I always used to listen to music and visualize what the music videos would be like. So I think I always just had this creative brain waiting to do something like this. So yeah.
that's dope, man. So moving into the Peaceful Warrior, right? When we last met, you had Peaceful Warrior 1, right? And you've dropped Peaceful Warrior 2 and you're getting ready to drop 3. Um Peaceful Warrior 2, it's a raw self-expression dropped after your last appearance here. What did that project allow you and Slimline to say that the first one didn't?
It's a good question. It's a continuation though. And I would say the third album is also a continuation of that. It's the same message all throughout. But that is a great question. Each time though, we just said it more clearly and better. Like I shout out to Slimline Mutha.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
a
he
sick
helped me
producer.
become a better lyricist because we started out in the beginning, we recorded 50 songs, and then we tried to pick the best 15, and then after each album we just kept having a lot of songs left over and we kept making new ones. But it's always been the same idea throughout the albums. Like the idea never changed. We never stopped to say let's make different types of songs. We always had the same goal in mind, which was songs that you could feel, whether they were like hard hip hop braggadocio songs or songs where I'm talking about my family and talking about my emotions. We didn't allow a song to get past the cutting room floor if we didn't feel it, like literally feel it. Like you gotta feel something when the shit is on. So I gained that feeling in one of two ways, by either being peaceful or by bringing warrior type vibes. So it's either or on the album. Either I'm like being I want to say meditative, but like either speaking from my heart and being calm, or just being aggy and going in. So it's peace or war. And within those two things, I wanted to be as honest as I could. So I think in each album, it just got better and better and better.
That's
Like
dope.
this next album starts off with a bang. You're gonna like it.
Hell yeah. I wanted to ask, what was it about Slimline Mother that made him the right producer for the series?
Um, you know what? I think it was how I was feeling at the time, and we just happened to connect at the right time. He was on my first album in 2007, and even before that, we had worked together.
Hmm.
But not until Peaceful Warrior. In between, we had done like singles here and there. I can't remember what I was doing right before Peaceful Warrior, but he sent me this beat, and I don't know if I was just emotional that day, but it just clicked. And it's from Peaceful Warrior, one, and the song is Doing My Thing. I have a video for that as well. But it just flew out, and I was emotional while writing it. And if you listen to that song, you can feel it. And I was like, oh shit, I need a whole album like this. So that's where it came from.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Did he do anything that, or does he do anything different that pulls the creativity out of you compared to the other folks that you've worked with?
Um, Anything differently? I mean, his beats do sound different from the other people that I work with, but that's a great question. I don't know if I have a great answer. Does he do anything different? I'd have to think about that.
All
What
right,
does he
that's
do?
cool.
What does he do different from Mr. Joker? Because they
Well, I mean,
both make
think
some
about it.
dope
Like you
ass
said,
beats.
you you made 50 songs, and you were very critical on how, if it hit the cutting room floor or not, and is there a difference in the way that you guys gel compared to like Mr. Joker, a different type of relationship or
That's an
creativity?
easier question to answer.
Okay.
We definitely gel differently. Um, Slimline, the beatniks were really easy to work with as well. Um, Joker wasn't hard to work with. He just lived in Hungary, and sometimes there was like a language thing going on.
Yeah,
Um, he used to have slow internet out there. It was crazy.
I got you.
um,
Got
but
that third world internet.
yeah, it was crazy. But Slimline, he's from England. I'm from England. We get along really good. I feel like if we actually lived in the same country, we'd
It seems
actually
like a
be real good
kinsmanship.
friends.
Then you got
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. He's in the. I don't know if you really fuck with astrology or anything like that. I'm not like I don't think any book can define who I am, but I feel like they have some striking similarities, and I'm like, damn. So my two best friends are Aquariuses,
Okay,
and he's an Aquarius, and his wife is a Virgo, and I'm a Virgo. So
gotcha,
I think we just kind of clicked
gotcha.
some type of level.
Hey man, there's stuff there's something to it. I don't know much about it. I had never really, I know I'm a Pisces, but uh, I haven't ever really gotten in too deep with it. But I never dismiss anybody else's beliefs or what, because you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, yeah,
there's always, I believe that there's definitely there's something bigger than us that's out there. Whatever
for
we
sure.
can disagree on or agree on, whatever it is, we all, I think, it's ingrained in our DNA to, believe and know. Like, and you said something, at the beginning of the episode was, why am I here? And that's something that especially even to this day, and I think I even question it even more, because like you talk about leaving legacy, and it's something that's important to me too, right? And I really want my children and wife and the folks that I want them to see, and this has been an exercise in growth and public, in the public eye, and and creating something, it's important to me. And it's like, why am I here? Hopefully to connect people. And I've always had a really uh, profound connection, or making connections with people through music, and speaking about music, and learning and connecting with people through music, because music is sound vibrations, but there's energy behind it, and
Right,
there's messages behind it. And
right.
you very much have, you're very thoughtful in regards to what it is that you're putting into your content that you're putting out, right? There's all of these concepts in your head that goes through it.
I feel
And
like music is real spiritual. I feel like a lot of people don't give it that type of credit. So I feel like as we're saying these things, we're like conjuring spirits and like putting a lot of energy out there with what we're saying. So
yes,
I feel
I
like it's like magic, to be honest. But a lot of people don't see it
alchemy.
like that. Yeah, yeah.
For sure. And the title "Raw Self-Expression" says a lot. Um, what does that mean to you?
Raw self expression means to be the purest version of myself, the most undiluted version, without it being tampered, and expressing myself at the highest form in every level. So without it being tampered, without it's another way of saying undiluted. My soul undiluted, the rawest, purest version of me.
That's dope. Now, this album and project, you had names like Planet Asia, Rhythmatic, Wordsworth, Ramson Bad Bones, Sadat X, Cafino, and others. how did those collaborations come about, and how did they sharpen the album, in your opinion?
So, Wordsworth, I've known for a long time, probably since like 2005. I know him through one of my good friends who's like a brother who passed away, Pumpkinhead. Matter of fact, shout out to Pumpkinhead. I believe today
Rest in
was
peace.
anniversary of him passing away. So shout out to Pumpkinhead. But he introduced me to Wordsworth, so I've known Wordsworth for a long time. I think Wordsworth probably took a liking to me because I was like Pumpkinhead's little brother, and I was just always around the scene. So Wordsworth is cool. So I've only ever asked him for a verse 2 times, and he gave it to me both times. So shout out to Wordsworth.
Shout out to
One of the
Wordsworth.
best MCs on the planet, best freestylers I ever seen,
He's
but best
awesome.
artists in general. Um, Planet Asia, and Sadat X. I had a manager who got me in touch with them. So I was doing a lot of shows in California. Planet Asia saw me perform at a lot of those, and he liked what he saw. So we were able to get him on my album. That shout out to my then manager. That same with Sadat X, and then Ramson Bad Bones. Um, he reached out to me a long time ago to get on one of his solo albums. That one of his producer albums, and then how did this? I always forget. I can't remember who reached out to who, but we started making an album together,
Hmm.
and then he was making a solo album, and I was making the Peaceful Warrior too. So we both were basically like, it's a good idea for you to get on my album and for me to get on your album. So he had an album that came out on High Focus Records, called White Rabbit, and I'm featured on that. It was produced by Leaf Dog, from the Four Owls. And then he just got on my joint, and he got on with a female artist called Athena the Goddess. And I did a lot of work with a producer from Indiana named Chopzilla
Okay.
on my album. On my album, I Still Love Her. And as I'm going, making the album, Chop used to send me songs that he like started and didn't finish. One day he sent me this song with Athena. I didn't even know Athena existed, and I was like, "Yo, who is this female animal on the mic?" And he was like, "Yo, that's Athena." So like a year or two go by, and I needed another female for the song, and that song that Quali did with Exhibit and Raw Digga, Down for the Count, kept popping in my head, and I was like, "Yo, I need a female just as raw as Raw Digga who can like beat this joint up," because me and Ramson was on there acting silly. But I was like, I needed like a female MC to do the same thing. Then she popped into my head. I was like, yo, I wonder. So I reached out to her, and she did it. And when I reached out to her, I said the same thing I said to you. I was like, yo, I wanted a female like a Raw Digga, someone who's like the body to beat it up to like. I was like, can you handle this? And she wrote back, LOL. That's when I knew she was about to kill it.
She's like, say less. I got you.
Shout out to Athena the Goddess, one of my favorite female MCs. I wish I could hear more music from her. She's so dope.
Hey,
Shout
man.
out to Ramson too, super dope MC.
Yeah, man. And all of the folks that you have on your albums and stuff like that, it'd be a blessing to, we'd love to be able to shine a spotlight on them, and open our platform up to them. So, uh, it's an open invitation, y'all. So, I want to ask you, you had Anu, I can't ever say the 1981, right? So that's the year that you were born. But more importantly, that reconnect you with Freak Step. You
Mm.
know, what is the difference when you return to a collaborator after years? You know, after you going on to something new, and then you going back to someone that you have a history with.
It was great. It was great because Freak Step throughout that process. Sometimes you work with someone and you just work with someone, but sometimes you work with someone and you become like brothers.
Hmm.
Freak Step became like my brother. So that relationship never died. We stopped making music for mad years, but that relationship never died. So when we decided to make another EP, it was so effortless and easy. It was just like, it was like nothing. Like we just It was super easy. Like he knew my personality, I knew his personality. Neither one of us were pressed at all. We just were like, let's do it because we love to do it, and it was just super easy. With Slimline, it's more. I want to say tense, but not tense is not the right word. Like specifically, like the album we just finished, Peaceful Warrior 3, we had like 15 songs and we had to cut a couple songs, and we didn't almost argue, but it felt like there was tension in the room
You
when
guys
we were
disagreed
like,
on which ones?
yeah, but there wasn't like a argument, but I could feel that like, but I didn't tell him this, but I actually was super happy about that because it just made me know that he cared a lot. Like he was passionate. Like he was ready to like argue with me. An argument never happened, but I felt like he was getting ready to be upset. And I liked that though. I was like, good, good. That means he cares as much as I do.
Yeah.
So I think this album is gonna show that. I think we cared the most on this last album, and I think it's gonna show that. I cause we've been through a lot, man. Ghost. The other day I seen a list come out from somebody who's from like Philadelphia, and it said like top 50 artists from New Jersey, and I'm looking at this list and I'm just rubbing my head like, I don't want to be arrogant, however. So it goes back to the thing of not needing to be validated. For a long time, I needed in hip hop. I wanted to be validated by my peers. I wanted, like, but I don't need that shit anymore. I know who I am. So I'm looking at that list and I'm like, old me would have been offended about this shit. And old me also might have been a bit arrogant. But new me is not offended, and new me is more humble about it. Like everyone has their own perspective. Like I don't need to be on that list. It doesn't make me any less valuable.
Yeah.
Like I don't need, like these guys might not even know who I am. I'm looking at the list. I'm like, how many people on that list did KRS-One say they wanted to do a song with? Because he said that about me.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm like, how many people on that list have toured 20 European countries off their own back in steam? Because I did that. How many people on that list had like a first YouTube video? Because I did. And how many people on that list could really stand toe to toe with me on a stage with that mic in their hand? Look at that last clip on my Instagram that I just put up there of me performing. How many people on that list can stand next to me and do that shit? So the new me is okay with not being on that list because I know who I am. So that I just wanted to say, like, all the last like 5 or 6 years through making these Peaceful Warrior albums with Slimline Mutha, I had to come to a lot of these realizations. Like, yo, you are who you are. You don't need that validation because you've done the work. You just came back from Switzerland, and right before that you was in France. And guess who got you the shows? Me, myself. But I've been doing this shit for years. Like you can go on the internet and go on YouTube and see me in Czech Republic, Germany, Austria, and all them shits I did them on my own. No manager. But I've been doing this shit. So yeah, I'm a New Jersey legend and I know it.
Hey
But
man, salute to you on that. And, but I think I lo- you're inspiring me even while we're having this conversation. I just want you to know that, fam. And I'm not gassing you up because I think not only is this a message that everyone needs to hear, but I'll let you know right here, right now, in this moment, what you're saying is like hitting me. Like, yeah, and I appreciate that because it is like you fuck all that. Just keep doing you, keep pushing forward, and know what you are, and believe in yourself, and understand what it is that you bring to the table, and like you said, bringing your light, your energy, and just doing you and keeping forward, and not not letting those negative outside internal things, as to call back to earlier, impact you, and make those thoughts start to shape who you are, because you could be jaded, and that would definitely put out and completely disrupt your vibe and your energy, right? And like
Right.
how you present yourself. You could have a chip on your shoulder and be like, fuck that. I get that.
Right.
I feel that, bro. I feel that because I feel some type of way too, especially with all of those accolades and credentials that you have, and not to make the list. It's for real, like for real, dog. Come on, man. Like, and you said, who on the list actually had KRS-One reach out and said, "Hey, I want to do a track with you." I mean, KRS-One, again, I have Ghost. Ghost came from a couple of reasons. The main thing was because I was always pale as a motherfucker, and I got roasted nonstop for it. But Boogie came from Boogie Down Productions. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I always fucking like KRS-One is a dream interview of mine, and I hope that I'm manifesting that happens here before I'm off this earth. But you know, he's one of the illest to do it. So just to
Yeah.
have that type of validation,
And I can also say that that song didn't happen over the internet. We was in the studio together and had a long day in the studio with full of conversations.
and how much
So
fucking knowledge, wisdom, and insight did you get off of that, just being in that room and having that conversation?
I have his verse on the wall behind me, laminated.
Oh, you've got the oh.
Yeah, let me show it to you. Huh?
Yeah, man, get that for real, man. And while he does that, I want to give everybody an opportunity. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and of course City World Media Group. So make sure you get down with all the get downs. Follow us on all the media and all of that stuff. Well, let's go solo on that. Boom. Woo! Look at that, man.
I see my name.
That gets that air horn. Look at that.
Stop
Yeah,
Marshall. Law.
dude. Man. Thanks and good. Man, that's sick. That's sick, bro. That's sick.
Oh, man
I,
wrote the verse and then gave it to me. I was like, oh shit! I didn't even ask him for this shit.
that
I
well, I
guess
mean,
I guess he knew that I would want it.
yeah, man. Like that. I mean, what do you say? A dope MC is a dope MC. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hey, so the circus talks about moving through chaos without losing yourself. What does the
Hmm.
circus mean to you right now in your life?
Ghost, you messing around because you know damn well we living in the circus right now.
I'm just asking you, fam. I'm giving you an
Oh my
opportunity to
god.
speak on it.
Oh my god. The other day I woke up, I turned on the TV and I seen our president um, promoting flavored vapes. And I was like, this can't be life. This can't be life.
I missed that. So here's the thing, fam. I have to stay away from all of that shit because, like, it. You want to talk about something that impacts my energy and gets me amped up and pissed off is shit like that, and I didn't even see that. So
So, the circus would be. I, I'm like conspiracy brother, man. I don't trust a damn thing. I'm skeptical about everything. Bro, I don't trust the food. I don't
yes,
trust the air. I don't trust the water. I love sports. I don't even trust the sports, dog. Like
that's
I cannot say wholeheartedly the sports are not fixed.
I mean, especially now the fact that Vegas. I mean, you can they are sponsored by betting organizations online. I mean, it's wild, bro. Like the stuff is wild. And then, of course, you can't tell I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. I went to the same high school that Pete Rose did. Pete Rose was a personal family friend of my great grandmother's and my grandfather's. Like he would park his Lamborghini in their yard, and one of the bars at the Big Red Machine would meet and play poker because it was a bar, a restaurant, like a social club that was right behind my grandparents' house. They had like a basement that like was a room that was all private, and the Big Red Machine would be there, and he would drop off Pete Rose Jr. Right, and I look at the fact that he's still not in the Hall of Fame, but yet you got Otani from the Dodgers that did the same shit, but uh, he was able to get his interpreter to take the fall for him and all of that stuff. Because I'm sorry, there's no way that he didn't know anything about that shit and
Yeah.
didn't have anything to do with it. But chimes were different, and I'm sorry, man. Like I still feel some type of way, especially with the way that it is nowadays. Like you said, you, the conspiracy theories there. I'm very much a skeptic as well, and that's something I try to teach my children. Is like, listen, man. Every single thing that you see on the TV is programming, it's propaganda, and if you just and especially anytime that I talk to anybody, especially with politics, and I hear them regurgitating fucking sound bites from whatever their favorite source of information is, and they
That is the
stand on it.
circus. That is the circus.
It's
So
crazy,
you
isn't it?
know what the circus is.
I know what the circus
Your
is,
last three
fam.
minutes, you just told me all about it. So
Yeah, fam. I mean, like it's crazy, dude, and it's fucking it's sad, and the only thing I can just put out there is it even says it in a lot of scripture and like texts of old antiquity. Be not deceived and use your own mind, use
right,
your own reasoning, and
right,
come up with your own damn opinion. You know what I mean? Like, your opinion might be off base, but it's your opinion. Don't let someone else have don't fucking regurgitate someone else's opinion. It's ridiculous. It's sad.
right. All right.
Yeah,
Agreed.
man. So let's talk about the and because I know we gotta wrap up for you, and I want to be respectful of your time. You've got an author signing, and that's a huge public milestone for you. You have Barnes and Noble author signing coming up in Princeton. And when that happened, and what what did that feel like? What's that mean to you? Like,
It's huge. I can't even like stop to smile. Every time I think about it,
yeah,
I smile because I'm like, yo, I grew up going into Barnes and Noble. Like,
yeah, man.
it's one thing to have a book, but to have it inside Barnes and Noble,
Hmm.
I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, I'm probably the first person from my high school to have a book in Barnes and Noble. That's crazy.
That's
But even the first person who did a lot of things, so I was like, it just slaps me around all the time. I I'm proud of myself.
good.
Sometimes people are not proud of themselves, but in this instance, I definitely stop. Like, yo, I'm definitely a type of person who will try to succeed at something, but will keep moving the goalposts farther and farther back, so
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like I ever do anything. But this time, I was like, yo, like, thank you, like. So it felt good. It feels really good. Um,
was that something they reached out to you for?
yeah, like I
That's
got yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Um, it's how do I put it? I just it feels valid. It, it feels like I'm going in the right direction. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, yeah, that's the best way to say it. Sometimes you hit a lot of roadblocks, but sometimes you try to go a direction and the door just opens for you, and it makes you feel like, oh, I maybe I should be walking in this direction. It's like the wind blew me this direction. It's like you didn't go. A lot of times in my life, some of the best things that happened to me are things that I didn't try and make happen. that makes any sense.
It does make total sense. Yeah, man. You know, what would a younger Cymarshall think if he saw you signing books at Barnes and Noble?
Uh, he he would be super happy and super proud. He probably wouldn't believe it.
I feel you.
He
on
probably
that.
wouldn't believe it.
You know, what do you want people to feel when they meet you at that signing?
Love. Just let me say that a bit clearer. That was pretty clear, but and this is just people in general. When I am at my clearest self, I know that we're electromagnetic beings, all of us, meaning that when someone walks into a room, you can feel them. You might not be able to touch them, but you can feel them. So when I'm on stage and I'm rapping, I already have that in the back of my head. Like the more energy I'm putting out, people can actually feel me. The same way I wanted people to feel my songs with Slimline Mutha, I know that when you're actually talking to someone, it's a faster way to feel someone. Sometimes you can stand next to someone and without them saying anything, you can feel them. Someone might walk past you and you just feel like, oh, I got an eerie vibe around them. So when I go into situations, especially if I go do a show, if I go like do an author signing, before I've already meditated before I got there, and I'm like trying to make sure my frequency and my energy is right. So when I give someone a pound and they go like this, they can feel love. Like, oh, this is not a regular human being. Like he's looking directly at me. He cares about me. It feels good. So that's my goal when I meet people. Because I don't want to make this thing seem like I'm perfect all the time, because I'm absolutely not. And I think those are some of the worst type of motherfuckers. Just make you think that like you do everything perfect, because I'm not perfect all the time. Like I might wake up. Yeah, I might. Yeah, but some people try to act like they are, and those are the people usually with the most skeletons in their closet.
They're trying to shovel them things in the door, like push them.
Right. So when I'm my best self, when I'm one of my clearest, and I'll be at my best self when I'm at the Barnes and Noble's author signing, because I have time to think about it and stuff. I know that I can give off a feeling, and by the way I look at someone in their eyes, by the way I hold their hand, by the way I can respond to them and give them indication that I've actually been listening to them and not just nodding my head. So all these things, when I meet people, when I meet fans after the show, if you ever been a fan who met Cymarshall Law, speak up. I mean, I try to make people feel like family at that moment, because why not? Because I've been on the other end of the stick where I've went up to one of my favorite MCs, and I won't name no names, motherfucker ain't my favorite no more, but made me feel like ew, like ew. Yeah. And then I saw like a girl go up to him and then react totally different, like, oh, you're just a bitch. But I refuse to be that. Consistency in when I met Cymar, he felt good. He felt like if something popped off in the room, and like I could trust him, I could be next to him. Like I want people to have that feeling. When you look at me, I don't want you to feel like nervous and shit. Like I know how to look at people with love, with love in my eyes. Yeah. Sometimes you look at someone and they don't have no love in their eyes. I know you know what that feels like.
That ice grill.
Yeah. So but there's a way to look at someone with love in your eyes, but also look like you're not the one to be tested either. Like there's a lot of love here, but bruh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just making people feel comfortable around you is what I try to do, and the energy I try to give off.
That's dope, man. You know, for closing, when people look back at this legacy of the light chapter, what do you want them to understand the most?
I want them to understand that it's not only my light. The light I'm talking about is a shared light between me, you, Ghost, and everybody we know. And we all have this light, and I feel like the light is just at different frequencies, but it's all part of the same light. And it's what I was talking about to you earlier. Like, we have all these things that are objective to us, that are outside of us, and it could be our thoughts or it could be our names. But the part about all of us that is the same is the light. And the light might be at a different frequency, but we all have this light, and the light is the best part of us. And a lot of people, they don't realize they have the light, but we all have the light, and the light is the best part of us. The light says that we're enough. And my goal is to let people know that. Because if I can let more people know that, we can live in a better place. And so much BS happens, and sometimes I feel like, damn, how can I fight back? Like, how can I help? Sometimes we're made to feel like we can't do anything when the powers that be, the elites or whatever, are just, doing what the fuck they want to do. And I think to myself, how can I help? What can I do? And then there's this light that we all have. And it's just like, yo, if you can show other people that they have the light too, and then maybe they can show someone else, and the light keeps reflecting and reflecting and reflecting. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if that's not why I'm here, at least I fucking tried.
It's gonna get to the people that it needs to get to. As we know, just like the universe works in mysterious ways, and you've been on a very, very long journey. You've been in this for over 20 years now, and just to think where you started to what you've accomplished, and you've only just begun, fam. I mean, you by far are one of my favorite people to talk to and connect with, and
Thank you.
I was really happy to be able to get you back on here. And when you said, hey, because I reached out to you earlier, and you were like, I'd like to do this when it's closer to the release of everything, and I was like, that's even better, you know what I mean? So, the more that we have the ability to talk to, but also being able to have a platform to talk about everything that you've done, but also everything that you have in the works. And bro, just like keep doing what you're doing, and you're winning, and it's awesome. And I can't say this interview and this ain't even an interview. This is I feel like a conversation between friends, and it's I just like the messages that you put out there. I hope resonate with the people that watch this as much as it's resonated just with me personally in this moment, in this time and space. And this is the reason why that I am doing this. And I've got my brother G-Dash, who couldn't be with us today because he's working, and got mad ways because he's working and everything like that. But shout out to everyone that's tuned in. And the question that I want to leave with is, when Cymarshall Law says legacy, what does that mean in one clear sentence?
Legacy means the things that you'll leave behind. Legacy means the things that you'll leave behind to make the world a better place than before you entered it.
That part, man. Well, look, man, I know you've got some duties and everything like that. Again, I want just to take the time out to say, shout out to Cymarshall Law. I can't wait to have you back on when the next iteration. I can't wait to have a chance to take a look at the books and also listen to the next installment of the albums that's coming out. And if you guys don't know, let everyone know. And it's in the description, y'all. So you can click all the links, follow all the links and everything like that. But let everybody know where they can find you, what they need to be on the lookout for, and everything. And I'm gonna go full screen on this. Let's see here. Bam, right here.
Yo, so you can find me at either hiphopintheflesh.com or you can find me at CyVision.online. The book comes out June 16th, next week.
Yes.
Copy. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes and Noble, online or in the store. My children's book, CyVision and the Mystical Laws, Part 1 and Part 2, come out on June 30th. You can get these in the store or buy them offline at my website. Holler at me. Maybe I'll mail them right to you. And then the single and the video, I got a music video coming out on June 16th, The Legacy of the Light. We didn't talk about that much.
Let's talk about it.
I can say it really quickly. So the song Legacy of the Light is like my version of Lose Yourself to 8 Mile. So within the book, you're picking up on a lot of it. You're like, the story kind of sounds like it could be your life. So yeah, I kind of intertwined my life. So in the story, in the song for the single, I wrote like I was the main character, but it was easy because a lot of the main character's life was similar to mine. So it's like what Eminem did with Lose Yourself for 8 Mile is what the new single will be for. So it's like me talking like I'm the character, what the character goes through and stuff like that. So that comes out June 16th. And I actually have 2 videos for it. I'm dropping 2 videos in the same day. I'm going to drop a video that my guy who works for 4886 Studios, Paul Russell, made. He's like a video game type video, kind of like the Planet Asia video I did. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
And then I have another video that's like a live action video that I'm going to drop. I don't know which one I'm going to drop first, but they'll both drop on the same day. One earlier in the day and one later in the day. So yeah.
And they can see that on your YouTube channel, which is...
Yes, absolutely. My YouTube channel is my name, Cymarshall Law. You see it on the screen, so just type in Cymarshall Law. You'll find my page, and it will be right up on there. Or you can find me it'll be on Instagram too, but check it out on YouTube.
Like, follow, and subscribe on all of those, man, and stay up to date with Cy, man. You got so much stuff going on, man, so much momentum, and I just hope the steamroll keeps steam. I just hope the momentum keeps going, fam. And thank you so much. Any shout outs before we get up out of here, fam?
Yeah, shout out to anyone that tuned in today. Shout out to Midget Mike, the Virgo Nation in the building. I see you. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to my fans, friends, anyone who listens. Shout out to, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to B-Boys Underground Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? The show. Y'all really hold it down for the community, for the culture, and I really appreciate y'all. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to anyone trying to do something good with their life right now, because we need more of that. Word up.
That part, man. So, hey, y'all, keep it positive, keep pushing, keep persevering, stay in the present, not in the past. Only learn from the past. Don't let it kick your ass. Don't trip on the future, right? I died twice. So whatever you're tripping out about tomorrow, it may not even be a thing that you even need. It doesn't even matter. So you don't know. All you can control is right now, and it's called a present because it is the present. And when you stay in the present, you can take the steps to prepare the future that you want to be and be yourself. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Nobody can be you but you. So it's nothing but love, light, and positivity. We're B-Boys Underground. We're out. Rallo, we'll see you next Wednesday, y'all. Peace.
Peace, B-Boys Underground. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, follow. From my city to your world, we are City World.